Welcome to the shop, everyone. Today we are going to turn a seam ripper, and we're going to use some Cocobolo. We're going to use the pin maker's mandrel that I picked up from Woodcraft. We're going to use the seam ripper kit. It's a chrome kit from Woodcraft. Very simple. It just comes with a tube. It comes with the blade holder. It comes with a blade and a few O-rings, and it comes with a cap. Seems to be a pretty straightforward project. I'm hoping that this Cocobolo will look really good with the chrome color. Okay, one of the first things we want to do is we want to look at our blank, and we want to find a spot where our tube's going to fit, and leaving just a little extra. I like to leave just a little extra. You go over to your bandsaw or handsaw or whatever, and you cut off the part that you need. Okay, so now, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole through this piece of wood, and we're gonna CA glue in this tube. Okay. So I have a little Wood River center finder that I like using. I picked it up from Woodcraft, and I don't know if you can really see that well or not, but you just set it in the corner and it'll find your center for you. There's a specific bit that goes with each kit depending on what you're using. So make sure you look at your kit, talk to wherever you get your pins from, and make sure that the bit you use corresponds to the size of the tube that you need. We're going to put the chuck in the tailstock, and I think I picked this chuck up for like 30 bucks or something. I'll make sure I put a link to where I got it in the description of the video. This is a letter O drill bit. Okay. We're going to take our chuck key, make sure we're snug all the way around. Okay, I put the pin jaws in my G3 chuck here. Let's get it snugged back down. And basically I'm just going to double check, make sure these are tight. Okay. And so basically what happens is this will tighten up around this, and it centers it up and squares it right in the chuck. So with just a little moderate pressure, you've basically now got yourself, you basically now have yourself a drill press. So you bring the tailstock up, and you can see it goes right there in the center of it. And you don't have to spin this really fast. What's going to probably happen is at first this right here is probably going to try and move a little bit, which is no big deal. But you can see with just a little bit of pressure, and I probably could slow my lathe down just a little bit, but this is drilling fairly well, no issues. And I just easily turn the tailstock, and it goes forward into the blank. And once I've extended it a little bit, I kind of like to back it up a little, just to where it gets ready to come back out. Loosen my tailstock up, slide it slightly forward until it gets ready to catch, snug it back down, and continue with my drilling. And just take it easy. There's no need to rush or hurry here. And you basically want to drill all the way through. And sometimes you may have to stop slightly. Pull this out, clean your bit off real quick. Bring it back in. It's a really straightforward process drilling this through. Now that that's drilled, completely drilled through, nice and slick. What we're going to end up doing now, we're going to let this cool. You always let this cool because we're going to use CA glue, basically super glue. We're going to use a medium CA glue, something that gives us a few seconds to be able to work. If you use real thin, it'll dry real fast. So we're going to use a medium CA glue, but you want to let this cool a little bit, because if you don't let this cool, what happens is obviously the wood is hot, the CA glue gets in there, you're going to get it right here and it's going to dry up on you. So while I'm letting this cool, I'm going to take all this stuff off. The pin jaws are going to come off, the chuck's going to come off. We're going to take this out, get my bit out, and get ourselves set up and ready to go, and I'll show you how we insert the tube into the blank. So now that we have, you can see that our tube goes in fairly easy. We're going to take a little bit of CA glue, and we're going to coat this tube down, and we're going to kind of insert it like this and twist as we insert. And we want to make sure that that tube is slightly below that box, and this stuff's already setting up. Now, one thing I should have done is probably roughed up the tube just a little bit. It allows the glue to bite. I did that on my first pin and it seemed to work well. I forgot to do it on this one. Hey, rookie mistake. Let's learn from my mistake and let's see what happens. We're gonna let this set up for a few minutes. I also have some activator that if I wanted this to dry really quick, all you do is spritz it with some activator. And this stuff's set now. You can work with it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. It's good to go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our pin blank and some bushings. We're going to head over to the lathe, and we're going to set this bad boy up on the lathe and start turning it. Okay. Well, after I super glued the tube inside the blank, I told you we were going to go over and start turning it. I actually kind of lied a little bit. What we really need to do is I need to set this back in, make sure that's snug. We're going to actually put this pin blank back in the chuck. And we need to put the drill chuck back in, because what we need to do is we need to flatten this out. We need to bring this level with the bottom of the tube. And there's actually a kit. It's a reamer set that you use depending on the tube size and things like that. And what you do is this reamer goes in the tube, it rides the tube, and it trims this up and trues it up exactly precise to the inside of what we're trying to drill out. So we want to make sure that the brass insert or the brass tube is completely smooth and flush on both sides of the blank in order for all the parts to fit in it correctly. All right, got you guys brought around a little bit so you can see a little better. What we're going to basically do, like I said, is we're going to fire this thing up and move the reamer in. And basically you want to go just till you touch the tube. Let me turn this off and take a look. I just want to keep an eye on where we are. We've actually got a pretty good ways to go. I may pull that out and put it in the bandsaw and just trim that a little. I know this other side is really close. Actually, probably a little too close. But we're gonna take and ream it out, bring everything snug like it's supposed to be. And then I'll take and trim that other side a little bit on the bandsaw. That's all we should normally have to do. I actually went just a little long on the other side with my blank. So you can see how it's shiny and smooth this side up, and we're still a little deep here. So I'm gonna head over to the bandsaw real quick, trim this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, I brought it a little bit closer to the tube itself. That way we're not sitting here for 20 minutes trying to drill this cocobolo out to get this thing leveled up on the end. So once again, just snug it a couple of spots. Bring the tailstock with the reamer up a little bit. Turn the lathe on. Give us a little whirl here. And basically what you want to do when you're turning a pin or this reamer or anything like that, see this reamer goes in like this, right? It's going to have a couple of little O-rings on here that holds this in. And basically what you want to do is you want to turn your design, your handle, whatever you want to call this, you want to turn it to where it goes towards this piece. And what you basically do is you have different size bushings that allows you to do that. I actually have a few extra sets of bushings that I picked up for a couple of different styles of pins that may actually work for this project. That would be really cool. So, yeah, as you can see, this bushing size compared to this bushing will get me a lot closer where I want to be according to the size of my cap and according to the size of this blade holder. It'll get me a lot closer. So what I want to do is I want to pull these bushings off. I'm going to still leave this spacer in. I'm going to take this bushing, put it here. Take this bushing and put it here, and this one here. And what that basically does is it allows you, it gives you something to shoot towards. It gives you an area. It gives you a dimension. I have this open live center that goes in my tailstock, okay? And what that allows you to do is it allows you to bring this up, and you don't have to use the screw or anything to snug this up. So it's really quick on and off. Really quick on and off of all the mandrel. And you can see it's pretty snugged up. I can tighten this up just a little bit to make sure that where we are, I can bring my tool rest up here, make sure nothing's hitting. Everything's exactly where I want it to be. I want this to be just, for carbide tools, they're a little thicker with the base here compared to conventional tools. So you want to make sure, see how I'm actually below center, but yet we're still above. So you have to compensate just a little bit for the height. Now we're really close, and I can basically turn this into a cylinder with this, with that tool, or I can turn it into a cylinder with this tool here. So that's what we're going to do now. Let's see what happens. Let's speed this up just a little bit. Now it seems we've something is off center slightly. because as you can see what's going on there? See how I've got more taken off on this side than on this side? Not really sure why that did that. I may have put too much tension on the tailstock and it may have caused things to move slightly. Like I said, I'm not really sure why that happened. I'll have to ask a few of the experts on exactly why that happened. But I think what I'm going to do is turn this down just a little bit more. Now that I see it's off. Oh, I see what's going on here. My mandrel bar, well, I was thinking that this bar, it's what's happening is this. Depending on which way you do this, this thing can move several different directions. I didn't think that the mandrel had a specific size. Now that I'm looking, let me grab a pen kit here. This is why I'm doing this channel, so everybody can learn, so you can learn, I can learn. Basically what happened is this. See how tight this is? See how tight this tube fits on here? Well, you can look at the different sizes, and no one explained to me that I needed a different size. Now, what would have been nice is I could have actually kind of used this as a bushing to center that. So I'm assuming that when you use bigger tubes for different things, there's probably something for the mandrel, whether it be a bushing that has a taper on it or that slides in the tube or whatnot. I guess, you know, I wish somebody would have said something to me, because I surely would have bought whatever I needed to make it happen. And you can see now that it throws it out of whack just enough to cause an issue there. So you live and you learn. Like I said, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this channel, is because I'm new. I want people to learn from what my mistakes are, and we all learn together. And you know, yeah, it was a few bucks, but truth be told, it's worth learning. A few dollars, it's worth learning. So I'm going to try and center this up as best I can, put a little pressure on it, and see if I can kind of salvage this thing a little bit. Yeah, as you notice now, we've got a little fluctuation in the way it's spinning. So that means now I'm going to be turning all new material. As you can hear it. And I should have done a little more research. I should have done a little more research on these kits and what it takes for them to work. What do you have to do to, you know, all the parts and pieces that you need. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish kind of contouring this the way I want. Throw a little bit of sandpaper on it. And let's see if maybe we can get some finish on this thing and get this little project wrapped up. Basically, with this polish, all you do is apply a little bit of it with a paper towel. And it basically is a friction polish. Put a little bit on our paper towel here and just kind of ease it in. Oh man. One of the most favorite parts of any project, obviously, is applying the finish. Wow, this grain is just popping like crazy. We'll turn this on slightly. And this is a friction polish, so we use the friction, the heat from the lathe spinning and the paper towel. And it's basically gonna create a sheen over the piece. Wow, it's like a glass-like finish. And let's see, it says allow to cool a few seconds between coats. Apply 3 to 4 coats. That's pretty much it. I think I paid around 20 bucks for this at Woodcraft. And I know you can make your own stuff and things like that, but being new, I've already got enough stuff to worry about, enough things to try and learn. So I figured, you know what, for $20, and I mean, you saw how much I just used on this first coat. I mean, we're talking, you know, a minuscule amount of material here, and that's actually probably way too much, to be honest with you. That's probably way too much. I mean, so you're talking, you know, you're probably not even talking a few cents worth of a friction polish here. Let's get this bad boy assembled. Pretty straightforward assembly we have going on here. Basically, we have a couple of O-rings. When I say it's straightforward, I can't even get the O-rings over the top. Okay, O-ring 1. Boy, these things are tiny. Okay, that's going to lock it inside the tube. And then we need a couple O-rings over here. And I'm sure there's an easier way, fancier way that guys are doing this. I'll tell you what, let's try something here. Let's take a pencil and let's extend this O-ring. I just had this idea here. I'm not saying it's original, just saying it's an idea. Slide that over that. Let's see if that'll, look at that. That worked out pretty good. Okay. So now that we have those in, basically what happens is this is just an O-ring pressure fit, okay? And then we have the cap and a, I guess it would be a clip. So the clip fits over the cap. And this gets pressed in here. Pretty solid like. That's pretty nice. And then basically what happens is this closed end goes in because we have like this plastic bushing where the actual ripper itself, the ripper gets set in here, and as you tighten it, it clamps down inside here and allows for a solid fit. So let's get this in. That still didn't turn out too bad, even though that was offset a little bit. Let's take this out. Let's get the bushing started. I'm assuming that bottom's out. And then we just snug that up. Look at that. Man, you talk about a simple and easy project for a Christmas gift, a birthday gift. And I paid $6.50 for the kit. The Coca-Cola was around $2 at the most, and it took a few minutes. Other than getting some other bushings and things like that, I think it turned out pretty nice. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this helped you out. Please leave questions, comments, tips, suggestions. I'm open to all areas of any comments, criticism. Keep it nice. You know, if you wouldn't say it to my face, please don't say it on my comment section. And hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, have a good one. Thank you.